Good morning. My name is John Glover. I'm the Operations Section Chief for the Alaska Incident Management Black Team, and I'll be giving you an operational update for the 23rd of June. We'll start out here on Fire 206, Agalook Mountain. Yesterday, our folks were able to insert into Crooked Creek and finish up the plumbing. They were using helicopter operations to ferry supplies and personnel into that area and complete the plumbing around the improvements along the corridor there on the fire side. And our folks also completed an inventory list of any additional items that were needed for structure protection around the areas of Sleep Mute, Red Devil, and Crooked Creek. And today they will be just kind of finalizing all the preparation, double checking the areas, testing equipment, and just completing a patrol around the corridor. We have not seen any significant growth. Yesterday, we're not anticipating a ton of activity today, but we're definitely reaching the point where fuels are starting to dry out, and we may see some activity on the fire today or in the next couple of days as things continue to dry out and heat up. Currently, we have Wainema Hotshots engaged on Fire 206, and we're continuing to just spread them out and maintain the operations and double check our work and see if the fire moves in any particular direction that we need to get out ahead of in front of. All right, continuing on, we'll talk about Lime Village and the fire surrounding that. 198, 197, a little bit of activity on the southeast side. I guess it's worth pointing out that the smoke that you see on the map is old satellite imagery. It's not current activity, but this is a pretty fire-prone area, so when they took the satellite imagery, there was a fire in there previously. But our activity has been on this southeastern side. We had some folks go up in and assess the structures here today, and they were finalizing the supply order to go in there and complete setting up structure protection around those improvements. There was a little bit of activity down here on 273, kind of on the eastern side of it. We are anticipating that as well as 244 to heat up, although we weren't seeing much activity off of 244 today. But we had folks out on Tundra Lake and Trout Lake, and they've finished the structure preparation out on those two lakes with all of the cabins there prepped, and they're looking to initiate a firing operation off of that tomorrow. They'll coordinate that and make for sure we get solid black around those structures. In Lime Village proper itself, the saw line was completed. It's nice and wide, looks like an airstrip. Pioneer Peak Hotshots did a great job of completing that preparation. They were receiving the supply order and initiated plumbing operations on that today. Yesterday. We also received Gannett Glacier into Lime Village as well. And as Pioneer Peak times out or gets close to timing out and goes for days off, we will have Gannett Glacier in there to kind of pick up where they left off and complete the plumbing operation and be there for the protection of Lime Village if things continue to progress towards it. Over on 190 and 228, not much activity in there at all. They were able to take a look around the comm tower where they had dug line a few days before. That's all holding well, and there has not been any significant impact on the communications tower over there. All right, so we zoomed out a little bit here just to talk about a couple of other fires. Mainly the fires that are right in the center of our area of responsibility, as we talked about yesterday. No movement on those, no perimeter growth. We haven't seen any significant activity in there. So we'll zoom down into the 240 and 205. On 240, we did have sustained activity in that area again today. Yesterday, it was quite active as well. Or I guess the past 2 days, it was quite active. But as things progress north, or as the perimeter progresses north, we have a value out here, a valuable asset out here at Cabin. It's well protected and things aren't pushing towards it. There's some good clean black in between. And along the river corridor, things are just slowly kind of working their way backing into the north-west wind that we've had, backing their way to the river itself. On the south side, fire continues to progress with the wind. The allotments out here, there has been some impact on those, but there are no improvements on those at all. And then we've still had a little bit of progression to the south and west here, as well as it works its way into the flats towards the river corridor. So it's still checked up mainly on the Cockatoolie in most areas. It has not crossed the Mulchatna at all, and folks are in there and patrolling via boat. We also inserted a couple of overhead types that will be shadowing the jumper in charge out there and being able to carry their operation forward. Over here on 205, we've had Uniweep module in there. Yesterday they were able to complete the burnout operations around all three areas of concern for the mining camp. So that was successful, pretty decent endeavor. The fine fuels are very, very dry. Normally we're able to use beaters and tools to actually swat out the fire. Conditions are so dry right now that those are absolutely ineffective. So the folks out there dug line down to permafrost, and we're using that as a control line. So a lot of hard work and good effort to protect those assets on 205. We'll continue doing work in the 205 area for the next couple of days, securing the areas that they burned out and making sure those are well protected. And then we anticipate in about 48 hours to move those resources over to 240 and backfill behind the jumpers that are going to be extracted out of there this weekend. We've ordered some aerial firefighting equipment to capitalize on the close proximity lakes, quick turn water scoopers. So we will be initiating some action once those guys get here. And putting some, checking the edge and the perimeter growth of 205 to minimize the impact as it tries to work its way towards Iliamna. It's worth mentioning that, there's some pretty good topographic features that are in the way of any southeast progression. So where we think it's got a probability of going through, that's where we're going to concentrate our efforts with the aerial firefighting equipment. And try and limit any southeastern progression with that. So all in all, pretty successful day yesterday. We anticipate a fair amount of movement today as well, as we take care of a lot of the values at risk that are kind of off of villages and scattered about the wilderness there. So as we're shooting to complete those interior kind of singular missions in the next 24 to 48 hours. And then we'll be looking to fall back towards those heavier concentrated areas, populated areas like Lime Village and Sleep Mute corridor, and then, falling back to the river corridor here on the Mulchatna and be able to kind of patrol where we think we're going to have the highest probability of any threat potential. So we're trying to reconcentrate our efforts as we have success, and it's going pretty well so far. So thank you guys for hosting us in your area. Like I've said many times, we appreciate it. We appreciate the accolades that you're passing on to the firefighters, and we're making sure they hear that. So thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a good day.